There are things that I feel we do not talk about enough. Things touching on adoption and how along the way the identities of children are stripped away. And this mostly happen when Black children are adopted by white families. They are taught to reject who they are. And when a child's identity is tampered with, when it is erased, when they are taught to reject who they are, the love they receive, the safety they receive, it comes at a cost. In Swahili we say, utambulisho wa mtoto si kitu cha kuvuliwa, ni kitu cha kulindwa, which translates, a child's identity is not something to be stripped away. It is something to be protected. No one talks about the trauma that is left on children that are adopted by white people. We talk about provision. We talk about safety. We talk about rescue and opportunity. But what happens when a child is adopted into a home that does not affirm Black identity? I've just bumped into a video that has broken my heart. It's a video of a Ugandan lady who is sharing her experience under white adoptive parents. And what she described is not just strict parenting, it's more of racial conditioning inside the home. And every day she was reminded of her skin color. She was told that Black people, they're not good enough. She was reminded of where she has come from. And she was told that Black people are only after sex, and she was not allowed to have Black friends. And mark you, by the way, she is a Black person. She's a Black lady from Uganda, and she was only allowed to have white friends. Listen to this.
Somebody asked, what rules did you have to follow as an adopted kid to a Caucasian mother in Uganda? I want you to remember, this is a woman, came from the US, went out of her way, got us as children, and took us in so that she can raise us, our parents. From age of 4 to 16, I was in Uganda. Under our mother's rule. Okay, one of the biggest rules we all had to follow, no dating Black men. Let me say it again. Remember, I'm on the continent of what? Africa. Where am I? Uganda. Abazungu tugenda bajjawa. His skin is black. Twali muwasa, twali mudatinga, sagala mulaba mu nyumba yange. What was even funnier was she was dating African men. She was dating Black men, but we are not allowed to date them. Somebody who has Black kids, this is what she was saying. For us, we are not allowed to date Black men because apparently all they want is and to destroy your life. Give you guys an example. This was my experience. This one guy that I liked, and he went to worship harvest. There's a church next to like Game and ShopRite. I was like, what, 13, 14? My siblings warned me not to say anything, but I was like, maybe she has changed. So I have a crush on this boy because for us we didn't see color. She said, okay, we never went back to that church for about 2 years. We were not allowed to have Black friends. Let me elaborate on that. Unless your parents were Caucasian and you were adopted. That was the exception.
And this is how internalized anti-Blackness is formed, not online, not on the streets, but inside the home. And when racism enters home, it becomes harder to name because it is wrapped. We want better for you. We want the best future for you, But what is better if it requires rejecting who you are? What is better if it requires you rejecting where you've come from? And that is not guidance. That is psychological shaping.
I went to Ugandan schools in primary 4 and primary 5 and baby class, I think. The other times I was homeschooled, which means I studied at home. I hated it. All the friends we made, they were not allowed to be at our house. If our mother was there, we could only bring them home when our mom had gone to the US to visit, because then we could actually be ourselves. Whenever I would bring friends home, she would keep an eye out as if they are going to steal something. And the other example, Damita, please come in the comments. I've never told Damita this story. Same church. A girl, her name is Damita. I find her very funny, very awesome and everything like that. A few months go by and I'm like, I'm going to introduce her to my mother. My mother meets Damita. She shook your hand. We are chuka, like this. And as she was walking away, she looked at me, Nangamba, why is she Black? You have to date white men. Have to have white friends. Unless their parents are Caucasian and they're adopted, then you're good. Cannot bring around any Black guy to our mother. Even if he is adopted, still that part of even to this day, if I'm to marry a Black man, my mother will not show up. My mother is not invited to the wedding, eh? So, Mama Afe, was black people are not good enough in every form of way. We got adopted every single day. But you know, there's something wrong about your color, your country, and you're like, why are you here? I want to clarify by saying, I'm not shitting on my mother. She shitted on her own self. The truth hurts. And some people are uncomfortable. Is what it is. A lot of people didn't come to our house.
And this is not about attacking white adoptive parents. Many try. But I think adopting black children, it requires affirming their blackness, teaching them to love who they are, not to distance them from their color or where they've come from. And I can imagine how many years this lady will take to unlearn what she has been taught. If a child is taught that loving someone who looks like them is a threat to their future, that wound does not disappear at 18. Some children grow up fighting the world, others grow up fighting themselves, and that internal war can take years to unlearn. Protect black children physically, emotionally, and culturally, because safety without identity is no freedom. And honestly, I think that adoption systems must prioritize cultural affirmation, not just placement. And safety is important, but identity is survival. Black children deserve both. My takeaway for this one, quite simple, that safety without identity is not protection. Black children deserve homes that affirm their blackness and they affirm where they have come from. And they do not deserve homes that are teaching them to distance themselves from it. Quite simple. My name is Wangari Njuguna and this has been ADNC. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wangari Njuguna. Also, remember to download our app for your latest news right at your fingertips. Also, remember to leave your comment. I'll be waiting to read your comment. I'll see you in the next one. Kwaheri.